Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
Isn't there like an in-between stage?
I don't know. That's like just like the very beginning of I don't know. You tell me. Like, how close were you? Close, or not really dating, just kind of friends, or?
No, like more than friends, but not boyfriend, girlfriend. Isn't there a middle?
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
This is the plaintiff, Marcia Hamilton. She says she and the defendant were good friends and almost dating when he asked if he could drive her car. Unfortunately, he ran a red light and another car hit them on the driver's side. She hit her head on the dashboard and the defendant smashed his head into the steering wheel. Now the guy won't pay her the $2,685 he owes. His cousin's a lawyer who's trying to intimidate her. Now she has no other choice but to sue this cat. Right here, right now. This is the defendant, Cartier Banks. He says the plaintiff threw him the keys to her car when they were going out for a bite to eat, and the car that hit them was the one who ran the red light. The impact was pretty severe, and they ended up crashing into a tree. The plaintiff then had her cousin call him on the phone and threatened that if he didn't pay up, they were going to make him disappear. Disappear? Nice people. He's accused of crashing his way right into court.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Ms. Hamilton, you are suing Mr. Banks, your former friend, I guess. Here's exactly how we were talking and almost dating, but not boyfriend and girlfriend. What does that mean?
Isn't there like an in-between stage?
I don't know. That's like just like the very beginning of I don't know. You tell me. Like, how close were you? Close, or not really dating, just kind of friends, or?
No, like more than friends, but not boyfriend, girlfriend. Isn't there a middle? Isn't there?
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. All right. So you have started the beginnings of what could turn into a beautiful relationship.
Right.
And what happens?
Well, it was just an accident. I was still interested in talking to him, like, even though the accident happened.
No, I actually want to get into the accident. That's what the lawsuit's about.
Yeah.
So tell me what happens. One fine day when you're hanging out, what happens? You're driving your car?
Yeah.
And it's a what?
06 Impala.
An 06 Impala. And then what happens that he ends up with the keys?
He asked for them, so I gave them to him.
And how many times had you been in a car with him?
A few other times, like.
And who was driving the other times?
He was.
So he always drove your car?
No, we weren't driving my.
Oh, okay.
Were you driving my car?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, then.
Do you have a car?
Yes.
Did you ever drive her in your car?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now this fine day where the accident happens, he asks you, "Can I drive?" And you say, "Sure." And then what happens?
He ran a light, and then we got hit.
He ran through a red light?
Yeah, he ran.
Were you looking at the light?
I wasn't really, because I trusted him as a driver. Like, he's
So
not
how do you know the light was
reckless.
red if you weren't looking at it?
But because I looked up in that instant, just because
Hold on one second. Let me get through. Let me do my thing.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
I looked up in that instant, and then just like something just made me look up. I don't know what it was, but I look up and then I saw that he had drove through it, and then that's when we got hit.
So you saw the light red before he drove through it?
Yes.
All right, so did you scream or say, watch out, red light, anything?
It was like a split second. Like, I really wish I had time to react, but it was no time. But so we got hit, and then...
How'd you get hit, on the right, on the left?
On...
Your side?
His side, right?
His side.
I think
Okay, stop asking him for help. He's not gonna
I'm
help.
sorry, I can't.
On his side. Who's the lady with you?
My mom.
Okay, so you get hit on his side, and then what happens?
We did a spin, and then I hit my face on the dashboard.
Were you guys seatbelted?
No. I know.
Seatbelts save lives.
I hear
All right. So both of you whack your faces against what's in front of you. You the steering wheel and you the dashboard.
Yes.
You're lucky you didn't go flying through the glass. So was it a high-speed impact? I know everything feels like a high-speed impact when it's an impact.
At the time, it did. Okay,
Right,
but he wasn't going like crazy fast. But when he was trying to run that red light, I think that's what made me, because he was trying to beat the light.
All right. According to you, did you run a red light?
No.
The other car ran a red light.
Yes.
According to you, what'd you have, a green or a yellow?
Mine was yellow.
Say it again.
Yellow.
Your light was yellow,
Yeah.
their light was red. But then,
Correct.
was that car at a stop and then started too fast, or was that car coming, or you have no idea?
They was coming so fast, but all the cars behind them going slow, and they finna stop because they like red.
Wait,
So I'm
slow down, back up.
Look.
Say it again.
So it's a lot of cars, like 3-4
Wait,
cars.
a lot of cars where? Behind you?
No, coming from this way. I'm
Okay, well,
coming
don't get
straight.
upset at me. I'm trying to understand.
Look,
You have to
all
be
right,
clear.
so these are other
Hold
cars
on.
right here.
I'm going to need you to come over here and turn around because you're disorienting me. Just come here a second.
Look.
Trust me. No, wait. Wait, stop. Okay, I got it. Hold on. Where are you? Are you your right hand or your left hand?
Straight. I was this way because I was driving right here. Cars.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to go behind you then to try to understand. Okay, you're out perfect.
So
Go.
look,
All right.
Being a passenger, so you heard.
Okay, I'm the
All right,
passenger.
Look,
All right.
I'm driving straight. These cars coming this way, but it's one that's going super fast, but the ones behind them is slowing down because the light is red, so they off and stop. But that was going super fast, so I'm thinking they finna stop though because their light is red. So I'm still going straight. Because
How are you seeing so much? If you got
I'm looking, I'm driving, so I'm looking. And they right here, they coming this way. And I'm going straight, and my light is yellow, so I'm still going straight. I'm not finna stop. I'm trying to get there before the light turns red, so I'm still going straight. Their light is red.
Did you speed up?
Yeah, but my light is yellow still. My light, if it was red, I wouldn't win.
Okay.
If it was red.
So
that
you
means
go, and what happens?
They smacked me. They were supposed to stop. They were supposed to stop because the light was red. Like all the other cars behind them, they stopped.
Right.
But they kept going super fast and they smacked me.
Okay.
As soon as it happened, she like, yeah, I know it's not your fault. I'm like, all right,
She
good.
said that? I know it's not your fault?
Yes.
All right, go back to the podium. What happens at the scene? Did the police give a ticket to anybody?
Yeah, I got a couple tickets.
Right, what are the couple of tickets that you got?
I got driving without a license.
Uh-huh.
Driving without insurance.
Did you not have insurance?
That wasn't my car. She
No,
ain't
I
have
know, but the insurance on your car doesn't cover you if you drive someone else's car?
I don't even think I don't got insurance.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't got insurance, but look.
Oh, before you
everybody
giggle
look.
and get all preachy, do you have insurance?
No.
I didn't say anything.
No.
Look.
Do you have insurance?
No, I do not.
Right. Does mom know that?
She
does now?
She didn't. She wish she did know that, but
Okay, exactly.
And you're not supposed to let nobody drive your car if you don't got insurance. If I,
Wait.
Look,
Okay, let me just say, did you guys end up dating or no? Because you're perfect for each other. All right? Are you kidding me? You just said that when you don't have insurance on your car?
I know, but I'm saying, yeah.
So now let's discuss the accident. What else did you get? Driving without a license?
Yeah,
Where was your license?
I left it at the house that day.
Okay, and driving without insurance.
Yeah.
And what else did you get?
I think it was just those two. Yeah.
Did you get a reckless driving? Did you get a running the red light? Did the other guy get a reckless driving or a running the red light?
No.
Did the other car, is there an accident report in the case?
yeah.
Yeah, the accident report will have both sides' names, or it'll say who. Does it have the other party's name, the car?
I don't think so.
You don't know? I don't think so. Was this a 3-car accident?
No.
What the heck am I reading? Who's Unit 3? This is talking about a Unit 3.
Man, I don't even think we had a police report. I don't even think that's ours.
No, it's your names. No, because is this...
I ain't get no report. I don't even
Well,
know
you didn't get one. Doesn't mean that there wasn't one. What day did this happen?
The 16th.
Had y'all been drinking or doing anything else?
No.
How is it that the report says is that it was a 3-car accident, not a 2-car accident? Did you guys not notice that there was a 3rd car that got hit by a spinning car?
I didn't.
No.
Yeah, it's in there. Did you guys, let me ask you a question. Before you come to court on something, did any of you actually read the police report? Mom, did you read it?
I just read it.
You just read it when? Now in the... Okay.
I didn't even know we had one.
What?
I didn't know we had one.
Did you bother to get one when you got sued? To find out what the... See, because here's what happens. According to the police report, you're driving here and witnesses, not one witness, but 2 witnesses, one in a car that has nothing to do with this, and, no, I'm sorry, 3 witnesses. The person you hit says you ran the red light, or that hit you, says you ran the red light. She had a green light and was going. The person that she spun into in another car says you ran the red light. And then a 3rd bystander in another car actually was a good Samaritan, waited for the police. That person said you ran the red light. Not only does everybody say you ran the red light, let me tell you how they say you ran the red light. That the car in front of you was stopping for the red light and that you went around into the bike lane in order to make the light.
No.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if somebody throws their keys at you and says, drive home with me, their car, and you get in an accident, are you responsible?
Yeah, of course you're responsible because you're still driving the car.
But you're doing them a favor. They kind of threw it at you.
I mean, it doesn't matter because it's still your fault that you got into the accident.
You agree with that?
I disagree.
Why?
I think because they threw the keys at me, they're responsible. They didn't ask me if I wanted to drive.
Okay, who's going to be the deal breaker?
Just because they threw their keys at you doesn't mean that you have to necessarily drive. That's your decision to make to drive the car.
And once you do?
It's on you.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
It's so interesting because that's not how you testified to it. You don't say that that's what he did. And you're kind of looking at me like that.
That's not what?
When he was driving, I was on my phone, so I wasn't...
Oh, were you? That's what I figured. You see? So I figured you didn't see that the light was red. I figured you perjured yourself in front of me. I figured you didn't see that there was another car. You don't... All the stuff that you say to make your case better, I know you're making up. I know you're on your phone. I know. I know you're not looking. Someone else is driving. Okay? But how are you going to get out of the little pickle I have that every single witness says you ran a red light?
My light was yellow.
Yeah, I hear you repeating yourself.
Look, my light was yellow.
So tell me what the motive would be. I understand the motive for the person who you're in the accident with. They want the accident to be your fault because they don't want to pay for their own damages. But what do the other 2 people have to gain? What do they have? What motive do they have to lie?
None.
None. Exactly. What a pickle, huh? Okay. Show me the proof of the tow.
It's in the police report. It's mixed in with the papers.
You said it was mixed in the papers of the...
Oh, yeah, it was. You're entitled to the value of the car, which you have estimated at $2,000, and that's actually pretty spot on based on... Oh, by the way, why did you give the police a different name? Do you have a license or don't
I ain't give them that. She gave
What
them
name
that.
did you
she
give
gave them my rap name. She don't know my real name.
She doesn't know your real name.
No.
Where did she get Cartier Banks?
That's what everybody called me.
That's your... Oh, you said your rap name?
I'm an artist.
Oh, okay.
Everybody calls me that. Everybody.
I got it. All right. After the accident, do you end up going to the hospital?
No, I didn't.
You don't. And did you have any injuries?
Yes, I did.
And what were your injuries?
I had a busted lip and a busted eye.
All right. And one of the things that you complain about is that you couldn't go to work.
Yes.
Why not?
Because I work at a club and having bruises on your face like that, it just, no one wants to tip that because it kills the allure. Like the point of a club is to
What kind of club?
It's a not a strip club. It's a nightclub.
What's the allure? What do you do there?
I sell bottles.
Okay.
So
they want you to look
you to look good. Yeah.
All right. But based on what I have read, I am finding in her favor for the amount of the tow and the amount of the car. I'm not finding in your favor for the amount of your lost wages because you feel like you have to look particularly pretty or it ruins a fantasy when you're selling bottles. $2,000, wear more makeup. That's what I do. $2,185 verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff prevails and gets almost $2,200. Mr. Banks is on his way out of the courtroom. You keep saying you're an artist. What, you never said what kind of an artist.
I'm a rap artist. I mean, I take that back. I could do every genre. I could do country for you, smooth R&B. If you like rock, I could do rock for you.
A little bit of everything.
I do everything.
And Cartier, why'd you pick the name Cartier?
That's a good question. It's for you to find out.
For me to find out?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just thought it'd be interesting. I mean, it's an interesting name. Anyway.
They call me Banks, though. That's my last name because...
They go by Banks. Okay.
Because I get the money.
Let me ask you this. 3 witnesses accuse you of the one who went through the red light.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that? How do you feel about that? You say you didn't. They all say you did. You're guilty, you know?
Yeah.
You still deny that?
Yep.
All right, you got to pay her, okay? Thank you very much. Wrong way. There you go. Dance your way out. All right, here comes Miss Hamilton, who the judge thinks was not paying any attention at all when the accident, didn't know there was another car involved, 3 cars altogether.
Because I looked up when I felt them started speeding.
No, you were on the phone. You just said you admitted it. Okay.
I was on the phone for a second.
All right. Look, well, you're going to get some money. Right. Not everything you wanted. You okay?
Yeah, I'm totally
all right. And I guess it never happened between 2 of you, right?
Don't tell anyone, okay?
No. And you're not dating? Are you dating?
No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm saying don't tell anyone.
All right. Yeah, you were going to date, then no, now it's over. All right. Goodbye.
All right, see you.
Goodbye. Okay. Harvey?
You know, just one aside here, Doug, that, you know, it is illegal to drive without a driver's license or insurance. But if you get in an accident and they say, well, they didn't have insurance or driver's license, that's not enough. You have to prove negligence in order to win a lawsuit like this. And not having a license, not having insurance is not proof of negligence. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This episode is brought to you by Walmart. New beauty is in bloom at Walmart, and it's all about springtime radiance. From Drybar, Tula Skincare, and hundreds more available online. Walmart has the premium brands you want and this season's on-trend products for flawless, glossy hair and hydrated skin. Big name beauty brands? Check. The things you love? Check. Find trending spring beauty and all you need to look and feel gorgeous at Walmart, on app and online.
These are the plaintiffs, Regina and Antonio Aiello. Regina says they dropped their dog Bella off at the defendant's animal care facility. And an hour later, they were called saying Bella was badly hurt. When they got there, Bella was bleeding profusely from a hole in her paw. She needed immediate surgery, and the defendant refuses to reimburse them for the vet bills. This accident was their fault. Bella somehow injured her paw in the defendant's care, and they're owed $2,331.04. So they're suing. This is the defendant, Louis Delicia. He says he's been in business for 15 years, and Bella has been boarded with him 4 times in the past 2 years. Bella got a small cut to her paw while she was in one of their chain link runs and needed 3 stitches. These plaintiffs are making a big deal out of something small. They're trying to overcharge him. He knows it. They know it. And soon that judge will see them for what they really are. Boneheads. He's accused of neglect.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs dropped their dog Bella off at a boarding facility, and the dog got a horrible cut that needed surgery. Now, the defendant says the cut was minor. It's the case of Bella, no Bella.
Thank you, Douglas.
You got it, ma'am.
Regina Aiello and Antonio Aiello, you are suing Cozy Noses Bed and Breakfast for Special Pets. I love it. Represented here by Louis Delicia?
Yes.
Okay. You're suing him for $2,331.04 for vet bills, a dog sitter, and lost wages because, according to you, you brought your dog over to his kennel and the dog was injured right away. Tell me what happened.
On March 27th, we were going away to Colorado. My husband dropped off the dog at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we left the food, the dog, everything. He leaves.
What kind of dog is this?
A pointer, a boxer pit bull. She's 4 years old, 49 pounds. About an hour later, I work in the school district. I get a phone call from one of...
When were you leaving?
We were leaving. We had a 7 o'clock flight that night.
That evening, okay.
So I get a phone call at 11 from one of the workers saying that I needed to pick up my dog. She hurt herself and she was bleeding. So I turned around to the girl and I said, she's been there an hour. How did she get hurt? So they said, we don't know. I said, you got to give me a few minutes. I need to call my husband and I have to leave work. I'm just upset. So I call him and he says, oh my God, what happened? I just dropped her off. I'm on the LIE. I said, well, you have to turn back. We need to go get her. I left work, he on the way back. We met, I picked him up, we went to the place. And she was bleeding and he had to wrap a towel around her. And
they didn't have any gauze or anything?
They had a light gauze wrapped around her paw, but it was coming through.
Right.
So they gave him a towel from in the place and he wrapped it really hard. So
you brought the dog to the vet and what was wrong?
They took x-rays, whatever, and she's got a hole in her paw and she needed 3 stitches.
Okay. Do you have pictures?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you have the vet records?
Yes.
May I have
These are all
both?
the records on the visual. These are all the pictures. Thank you very much.
Is this your dog?
Yes.
What's the name of your dog?
Bella.
Okay.
That's the kennel they showed us.
Okay. So on the day, what's the day that you went in?
The 27th of March.
Okay, so there's a bill for $519.75. And then the next day you brought her back?
The babysitter, the dog sitter had to take her back.
Who'd you end up taking the dog to?
My girlfriend, Kristen. I had no choice to.
So you called her, it was an emergency, you asked her to help.
She's a teacher with me at my school, so she knew I was leaving and she said, if you need me, just call me.
That's nice.
So that's what I did.
And how long were you gonna be gone?
For Tuesday to Tuesday, a week.
A week. So she got nervous because what? Why did she take the dog back?
She was vomiting, she had diarrhea, she wasn't eating.
I assume you mean the dog.
The dog.
Okay.
and her eyes didn't look right.
We don't laugh, we cry. Okay,
I know.
Go.
And her eyes didn't look right. She knew something was wrong.
She got nervous, so she brought the dog back to the vet. And what did the vet do that day?
They had to put her on IV.
Because they said the dog was dehydrated.
Yes.
Okay, and it took her to get an x-ray. And the charge for the x-rays totaled $444.
Correct.
And what did the x-rays tell us?
Something with the lining of her stomach.
And by the way, Bella's fine now, right?
She's limping, and I have to take her back in 2 weeks. They don't know if it's a permanent limp or not.
And did they say anything to you about that it might take a while? Because it's on her paw, right? Is it on the top or the bottom?
Inside.
The bottom, inside the pad.
Yes.
Well, that's got to hurt. How long would it take us to heal? Right. I mean, there's no evidence that you have that it's a permanent limp, right?
No.
No, not yet.
Well, not yet. Why are you so pessimistic? Because you're suing for money or because, I mean, come on, don't be so pessimistic. It's bad juju released into the world. What's your defense? I'm dying to hear it.
Okay. They did bring the dog in on the morning of the 27th.
And that's not the first time the dog comes, right?
This will be the 5th visit.
Okay.
Total of 12 days, I think.
Okay.
The other visits were 2 and 3 days at a time.
Yeah.
So we never had a problem with Bella. They bring her in. She seemed to be a little over anxious, as a lot of them do, because they pick up on what goes on at home when a vacation is coming.
Oh, please. As soon as I take the luggage out, my dog gets so nuts. And then she tries, if anybody opens the door to the car, she gets in the car and she won't get out because she's assuming that we're taking a road trip and leaving her behind.
Right,
and
so they know something's going on.
They know something's going on.
So she was a little more anxious than I would say than normal. We took her back. One of the kennel staff takes her in the back, put her in her assigned run. As soon as she put her in there, Bella started fence fighting with the 2 dogs on each side of her.
Okay.
Very aggressively, which she's never done before because we would have that.
Says who? You weren't there. Who says that to you?
Alana, she has a statement here. No, she gave a statement.
Why isn't she here?
She's got to work and watch the dogs.
Oh, I know, but you know nothing. You're just the owner. Why couldn't somebody else work and watch the dogs and have the person with personal firsthand knowledge who claims to have seen what happened here?
Because this is a typical thing that can happen.
I'm sure it is.
We always bring the dogs back and watch them for a few seconds to make sure.
I know, that doesn't answer what I'm asking, but go ahead and give me the affidavit from her. And then, so according to her, the dogs are pawing at each other.
Right, well, not at each other. Just Bella.
Just Bella's
Just
pawing.
Bella is being aggressive. Luckily, we had 2 calm dogs on each side. Piper was on one side and a Louie was on the other. And they didn't come back at her. But she didn't stop. So the staff member took her out of that run.
And was she bleeding already?
No.
Okay.
Put her into what we call the private run, which has solid sides, stainless steel sides.
And that's the one we have a picture of here.
Right, so they can't do fence fighting. They can't see each other.
Right.
But there were no dogs on either side of her at this point anyway.
Where did she get hurt and how did she get hurt?
We don't know. She got hurt in that run.
She got hurt in that run, or we noticed it in that run? Because it sounds like you're telling me about the aggressive stuff in the other run that it probably is. That's where she got hurt.
No, we would have seen the blood. Plus, she would have been limping. There was none of that.
Yeah, she would have been limping. That's for sure.
Right, and we would have seen blood. Now, that door, that's a guillotine door, so it opens up and inside.
I hate that. That sounds awful. Can't you call it a sliding door or something?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful French door. Opens up.
So if a dog gets a cut at a boarding facility, and even if it was super aggressive, is the boarding facility responsible for vet bills?
No, they are not. The owner would be responsible for those bills. I'm sure they signed a waiver when they dropped their dog off, and they would be responsible.
That's a fair point, but let's assume there's not a waiver. Is the boarding facility responsible?
Well, were they negligent?
Well, that's the question. I mean, if a dog gets in a fight with somebody and cuts itself, is the owner responsible?
I'm not sure. I think.
What do you say?
Yeah, well, you're paying for a service, so you would hope that they look after the animal.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
She continued to run back and forth and jump at the fence, which is the gates are chain link.
Okay.
The gate on the inside, gate on the outside.
Right.
At this time, the staff member went to take care of the other dogs to look and see what was going on, came back within a minute, saw the blood on the concrete. It's just concrete and chain link. That's all the runs are.
Right.
They came to get the dog.
Okay.
They went to the vet.
Now, your feeling when they present you with a vet bill, your feeling is what?
Well, the dog acted carelessly. Let's put it that way.
You mean it was a dog? The dog acted like dogs do? Right.
That's right.
Except it's a dog.
The dog is acting unsafe in as safe environment as that can possibly be.
No. Here's the problem, okay? Something caused that to happen. And the only possible things that can cause it to happen are the environment that the dog was put in. I would say probably something having to do with the fence, or another dog. There should be some testimony here about this happened. I'm not done. Did I breathe and give you the impression I was done speaking?
No, I'm sorry.
There should be some testimony here about exactly how it happened, because that dog wasn't there an hour. And there should be some testimony about it. But not only is there not some testimony about it, but I would find that testimony suspect anyway. All I know is I gave you my dog, and my dog got punctured. So it was either another dog or your environment that did it, unless she stabbed the dog. That's the third thing, and I'm going to just discount that one because that one's nuts. So either there's one of those, the iron from the gate or something that's sticking out a little, or another dog did it, or whatever it is. Either way, you're going to be liable. So I'm going to order you to pay the monies for the vet bills. I am not going to order you to pay dog sitter or lost wages. This is not that kind of case. But I think you are right. And of course, you also get your court costs that you had to pay in order to file the case. Verdicts for the plaintiffs in the amount of the $1,184.01.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, because it's kind of funny, because when I read your answer to the complaint, did you not kind of feel guilty and want to try to work this out? And
my second offer was $800. He refused that.
Right, I know, but everything's not let's make a deal. Like, he's actually out the money, so he doesn't. But you were losing sleep over this.
Oh yeah, I'm still going to lose sleep, because now how am I supposed to? You can't make it any safer.
I know. That's why you get insurance.
Thousands of dogs are in there.
I know.
A year.
I know.
So
I know.
Help me.
No, I can't help you. See, everybody who opens up a business has a cost of doing business risk. But your wife told you what? Call that guy back and pay him. It's not worth losing the sleep.
Yeah.
Where's your wife today? She didn't come with you?
No.
No, because she thinks she should have just paid him and moved on, right? Okay. Bye, guys.
So the plaintiffs prevail in the case. They get $1,184. That's the vet bills. Mr. DeLisi, you should have listened to your wife, you know.
I tried. I mean, come on.
What can you do to prevent this from happening other than having somebody watch the dogs much closer?
I think if I put the dog in a padded run, it could have hurt itself.
Even there, in a padded run?
It was very agitated, jumping up and down. Well, it all comes down to the money.
Well, good luck in the future, okay? I think you learned something here.
Oh, yeah.
You tried. Mr. Aiello?
Yes.
Sorry you couldn't work this out before you came here. He just wasn't willing to do it, obviously.
Oh, absolutely not. But you know what? A dog's a dog. He can't make a dog not jump around. It's gonna
I know. We all love our dogs.
Yeah,
so.
we all do. Especially mine.
You're okay, good enough. All right, we understand. Thank you so much, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Harvey?
Well, look, I mean, here's the deal, Doug. At a boarding facility, they are responsible for keeping the dog safe. And if a dog is super aggressive, then you got to keep the dog away from other dogs. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Springfest deals are still in full swing at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 bags of Stay Green Premium Color 2 cubic foot mulch for only $10. And get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save up to $300 when you buy 2 or more select GE kitchen appliances of $396 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/16, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
This is the plaintiff, Anthony Tillman. He says the defendant is his nephew and he bought him a dog and was supposed to get 3 puppies from the litter when she gave birth. A few years later, he found out the dog did indeed have puppies and the defendant tried to keep it a secret. When he asked him for one of those puppies, the defendant cursed him out. And family or no family, he's suing for the $1,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Robert Royal Jr. He says he called his uncle when his dog had 11 puppies and told him to pick his 3 as per their agreement. His uncle told him he didn't want the puppies anymore, told him to pay him $500, and here they are. He's accused of pooping out on an uncle.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff gave his nephew money for a dog for breeding, but the deal was he was supposed to get 3 pups from the litter, and the defendant didn't deliver. The defendant says he told the plaintiff to pick the pups up, but he said that he wasn't interested. It's the case of a dog's life.
Thank you, Douglas. Anthony Tillman, you are Tillman?
Tillman.
Sorry.
Yes.
Anthony Tillman, you're suing Robert Royal Jr. for $1,000. This is your nephew, correct?
Yes.
For $1,000, $500 that he agreed to repay you, that you had loaned him to make a purchase of a dog to breed, and $500 that he agreed to pay you for profit on the sales of the puppies. All right, what happened here?
Well, he was going to purchase the dog with someone else. The guy bailed out on him, so he asked me to help him.
Okay, and how much money did you give him?
I gave him $500.
And what was the agreement between the 2 of you?
I asked him what his agreement was with the other guy. So he told me it was maybe 2 or 3 pups and first pick, maybe, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But then he tells me that was just a guy I know. Since you're my family, I'll make a better deal with you. We can just split them.
Split what?
Whatever amount of pups there were.
So you're supposed to get puppies?
No, I told him that I didn't want to deal with puppies. He can take care of all of that. I'll be a silent partner. I don't have time to deal with the dog and all that. He agreed with that. And then...
So what are you supposed to get?
Whatever he sold the dogs for, I'm not sure. But
right,
I'm just
what are you
asking
supposed to get? 50% of the profits? $500? What is it you're supposed to get?
50% of the profits.
Okay. So, and what kind of pups were these?
American Pit Bull Terriers.
What did they go for?
I sold mine for about $300 to $400.
Okay, and what size litter did you have?
I had a litter of 12 and one passed away. I sold the 9 that I kept, and I still have one at the house, and 2 of them I gave away.
By the way, heaven forbid that you put any of this in writing, what your agreement was, right? There's no contract or anything between you two.
No, there's no
that's
contract.
my nephew. I trust him. All right. So what happens? How much time passes and you hear from a relative that the dog had puppies?
Well, yeah, I talked to my sister-in-law, his mother. She
His
told
mother,
me, yeah,
okay.
she told me that the dog had a litter, and he had never said anything to me about it. And at the time, I didn't really want to bother with it, so I let the dogs grow up, figured in a few weeks he would call me. But from September to January, I heard nothing from him, so I finally sent a text message to him, and that's when I got this whole blast of profanity.
Okay. So what happened?
The dog had...
Tell me about how he invests $500 or loans you $500, whatever it is.
A friend of mine was supposed to give me half for the dog. He had a family issue, so he backed out. So the defendant, he gave me $500, and we had an agreement when she matures and I breed her that he would take 2 or 3 pups. I think it was 3. And when she had the pups, he didn't want the pups. He wanted the money from the pups, but he didn't want.
Do you
the
have
actual
any
pups.
evidence of what the agreement was, so that you can prove that it's your way and not the way he said?
It's just a verbal agreement.
Okay, so there's no texts or emails or anything or witnesses?
Text after the fact.
Text after the fact. So both of you sent me the text, and you have the exact same text in front of me, and each of you think it helps you, which I think is really funny. Good morning, nephew. This is on December 30th, okay? Good morning, nephew. Remember me? It's Uncle Investor. So the pup for which I paid half of the purchase price, money, grows up and has a litter of pups. You're selling them, and during all that time, you don't show me enough common courtesy to say one word about it. What's up with that? Right?
Yes.
You don't like that.
Oh, that's what he texts.
I know, but here's your response. Okay, first, you've known about the litter over 5 weeks. Why do you say that?
Because he did. My aunt, his sister, told him about the litter.
Right, he was letting time pass to see if you'd call him.
And my mother told him.
Second, if I remember, you gave me $500. Hera cost me $2,100. Third, I already told Roger and Auntie that I got to give you at least $1,000, which means $1,000.
Right.
I'm going to let that linger in the air there a second. That's exactly what he's suing for that you don't understand why he's suing for. And that is supposed to help you?
I was going to give him $1,000 instead of giving him the pups, but then I said...
Fourth, since we're doing all the work and everything up until now has come out of my pocket, and on my pocket, sit back and wait for your money. Nothing about pups. You wasn't worried about common courtesy when it came to informing me about pop passing. You left me a message with no urgency. There's a family problem, no 911, an voice message. Who even leaves a voice message? But you'll text me at 3 a.m. about bud. What's bud?
Marijuana.
Oh, wow. How did that one escape me? What's up with that? All right. And your response. Oh, wait, no. There's no response from you. What there is continued barrage of texts from you. Okay, whoever is informing you, please tell them that I said shut the F up and mind your business. And honestly, it wouldn't be me if I didn't send them a very personal few times 2. There's 3 pups over here, so you're welcome to take 2 of them now. House them, feed them, clean up after them, and try to sell them on your own, or sit the back and wait for your investment to clear. Right? That's what you say. Not, hey, the deal was always that you... Then it says, wait, it gets better. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Pop dies, and I get a non-urgent voice message, but now I get a text about money. Really, investor first, uncle second. You sound really angry.
Yeah, I was. My grandfather passed away, and he left me a very non-urgent message that said, give me a call. Nothing detailed, not this is serious.
Did you miss a funeral over it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So would you sue a relative who stiffed you?
I would.
You would?
Yes, I would.
What do you say?
It depends on how much money they stiff me for.
$500.
Probably not.
1,000.
Probably not.
2,000.
Maybe.
5,000.
For sure.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
He passed away Monday. I didn't find out about it until Wednesday afternoon. Now, I didn't have enough time to inform my job that I was leaving for 3 days.
Okay, so then where does it, I missed my grandfather's funeral because he didn't tell me. What are you so mad at? This is almost a month later, almost a whole month later. You text him and say, I've been doing some thinking, and why should I double your money when that wasn't the deal we had? Our deal was for 2 or 3 pups, not double your money. So there's pups over here with updated shots. Let me know when you want to take that. You know he's not going to take the pups. That's stupid. I didn't agree to take any pups, and you know that. You could have easily come to me, but you listened to her. I mean, whoever was in your ear. It turns out it was your mother. Mm-hmm. But why are you so mad that your mother talked to him and told him about the pups?
Me and my mother don't get along, and she lies a lot.
If that was true, you would have told me the dog was having pups. You never even told me. I had to find out somewhere else. Keep the dogs, keep your money, drop dead. You're dead to me. This is what I get for helping you when you were in a jam. Name calling, who's really a child? Same way you got in contact with me about some pups blank, you could have contacted me about Pop. It's all about pop passing instead of that nonchalant voice message. Why is it only his job to let you know that your grandfather died? Was he in some unique position to let you know as opposed to do you not talk to anybody else in your family?
Yeah, I do.
So how come you're not
He's
mad?
the closest to my grandfather, and he found out.
What you're really mad about is that did he drive down and pick somebody up?
No, I don't know where he met my half brother at, but they drove down together. They had already.
So that's what you're really
had
mad
the road
at.
trip planned.
And I'm sorry about that. And that seems not very nice from family to family, but it has nothing to do with what the agreement was. I have to find out and decipher between the two of you, because you don't have a written contract, what the real agreement was. And based on these texts, it's very obvious to me what the real agreement was. When he first reaches out to you December 30th, your answer is, I already told Roger and Auntie I got to give you at least $1,000. That's exactly what he's suing for. I'm ordering you to pay him $1,000. Good luck, folks.
So, based on what the defendant put in that text, the judge finds you're going to have to give him $1,000. You know, I'm interested in one thing. You're really upset with him for not telling you about your grandfather's death. What about your half-brother? He was with him. Couldn't he have told you too?
He could have. You're absolutely right. He could have.
But he didn't either.
I
right?
didn't get a phone call or anything from him.
So don't just blame him. Blame your half-brother as well.
Blame him whoever. Blame them both then. How about that?
Okay. All right. Well, sorry. You got to give him $1,000. You're going to have to live up to what you said. All right, thank you very much. Well, Mr. Tillman, what have you learned through all of this now? You seem pretty patient. I mean, it's been a long time since you gave him that $500.
Yeah, I want to let the pups grow up and see what he was going to do first.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, you know, normally you sell pups pretty quickly after
a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty patient.
Yeah.
Well, you get your $1,000. You okay?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, good enough. You must sign a few documents. Thank you very much. Harvey?
Okay, you know, whenever people are involved in a dispute and they end up going back and forth texting and they get angrier and angrier and say various things, you got to realize that if you're in a dispute and it could end up in court, the things you say in a text could end up as evidence. So when you're writing this stuff, you got to think down the road, what happens if these texts are read by a judge?